So what's up, vinyl community? It's Todd Guy from Zombie again. Another video. So this is going to be a little bit of a different video. It's going to do a little story time at first. This has to do with blind buys, sort of. So back in the late 80s and early 90s, as anybody my age or around my age knows, there's no internet. So and there's no YouTube, no streaming. So you couldn't hear any part of a song from an album unless the song from that album was played on the radio or had a video on MTV. Right? The radio was okay for the mainstream music, you know, pop, the rock, stuff like that. But if you like metal, like I do, you had to wait till Saturday nights when Headbangers Ball came on MTV. On the East Coast, where I was, where I still am, it was on at midnight. So that's how I found a lot of bands I could check out in the record shop. There are other bands I didn't see at Headbangers Ball, but I saw the albums, more specifically the cassettes at the store. So I had a job at 15 in 1988. So every week, when I got paid, I would walk across the parking lot of the plaza. I worked in to go to the Strawberries, which is the record store there. Or it's not there anymore. It was Strawberries. And then it got turned into Coconuts, I think. And then it was something else. It might have been an FYE. So I'd buy a cassette a week, usually. But since I couldn't hear the music, I would blindly buy albums based on the cover. Okay? And these are 6 albums I bought based on the cover art. 6 albums that I bought, I either didn't really know what to think of them at first, or wasn't sure I liked them, or they instantly clicked and I was totally in love with the album. And a couple, I don't know, 1, 2, 3, 4 of these, I didn't even know they had other albums before or after this. And these are the only albums I really listened to. One of them, I think I might have had an EP of the cassette, which I still had. But I'll get to that. 2 other ones I found other albums because other people listened to them. I knew about those. But these other 4 were bands that nobody in my area really listened to. So the first one, I mean, these are out of order. These aren't how I acquired them or found them. The first one was Death, Spiritual Healing. I don't remember if I got this at Strawberries or somewhere else. But I saw the album cover, saw the name, and I didn't know what to think. I had no idea what kind of music this was. I thought it was, thrash metal maybe, because I was listening to thrash at the time. But I didn't know what to make of the logo, the name logo. But when I bought it, said, I'll try it out. And I popped it in, instantly fell in love. The funny thing is, this album is the one a lot of people say is probably the worst. It's great. I love this album, but there's no. It's kind of somebody said somewhere that it's kind of like Leprosy 2 in a way. I don't agree with that. Leprosy was still more on almost the gore lyrics almost in a way, whereas this one isn't. This one goes more into not political but more problems, like addiction, heroin, drug addiction. What else? Like people being liars, like living monstrosity, drug addiction, Altering the Future. Low Life is one about being a liar and being a scumbag, basically. Genetic Reconstruction, you know, just weird shit like that. Not really gore-filled lyrics like maybe even Scream Bloody Gore wasn't gore-filled, but it was more horror-based, I guess. Leprosy's kind of like that as well. Not so much. It was going more toward this kind of stuff and then the later stuff. So many great riffs in here, and so many time changes, and the way his vocals were different. It was a great album. Second one was Entombed, Clandestine. I think it's Clandestine. Honestly, this one, I didn't actually, hey, look at that. Speaker wire. I didn't actually buy this one. I stole this one. That came out February 16th, 1990. So I was 18. 17? 17. Yeah, I was 17. This one came out a week before, February 11th, 1990. So I was still 17. And I actually didn't buy this. I shoplifted this cassette way back before they got all the things by the doors, you know, stop people from stealing stuff. I feel bad about that now. Probably shouldn't have, because they lost money from me not buying the cassette. Didn't seem to hurt it much though. They still became a pretty big band. Anyway, this cover, this cover was just amazing, because look at it. You know, I had no idea what kind of music this was either, and I fell in love with this album. I fell in love with the Death album as well, and I didn't look for any other albums though, that's the thing. I just listened to this one. I thought, you know, I didn't see any other albums from them in my area anywhere, so I couldn't find any other albums. Didn't travel anywhere else to record shop or music store or anything, so I live in a not secluded area, but a place that doesn't have a lot of metal, places that sell like a lot of metal or anything, like from back then. And now older metal albums, originals and whatnot, are super expensive, so whatever. Third one is Sanctuary. This is from 1988. I looked everywhere, could not find a month and a day for when this came out. Just 1988. So I was 15. Was I 15 when I bought this album? Or was it later on? I don't remember. I saw this too. Just the logo got me. And the cover was just like, okay, this is like something I would want to listen to. Yeah, another great album. Power thrash is what I call it. It's thrash metal, it's power metal, it's power thrash. Yeah. Yeah. Music on vinyl. Great stuff. And then, I don't know why this cover attracted me. Creator, Extreme Aggression. It's a terrible cover. It's absolutely horrendous. Why did it grab me? Maybe the name, Extreme Aggression. Maybe I was in a place in my mind where Extreme Aggression was what I wanted to do. Who knows? But just this album. This was June 19th, 1989. No Reason to Exist, Love Us or Hate Us, Stream of Consciousness, Some Pain Will Last, Betrayer, Bringer of Torture, Fatal Energy, everything on here. Don't Trust, No Reason to Exist, Every single song in here is killer. It's just killer. Yeah, I don't remember where I got this originally either. I have no idea. And all 4 of these were albums that I got after these next 2. So I was more like, oh, okay, this is good. This is good. So this one came out on April 11th, 1988. I was 15 still, and I remember I got the cassette. This Iron Maiden, Seventh Son of a Seventh Son. I knew a guy that talked about Iron Maiden. I'd heard of them, but I didn't hear any of their music. I got this at Strawberries, Blind By, just because I knew the name Iron Maiden, but I hadn't heard any of their music. I don't think I was watching Headbangers Ball a lot at that point, but I saw this, and I'm like, oh, Iron Maiden. He didn't mention this album. I think it had just come out, maybe. April. Yeah, I think it had just come out. I saw the cover, and I'm like, man, that looks really awesome. I bet that's, like, pretty fast and heavy. I got it home, popped it on, popped it in. It wasn't a record, it was a cassette. Popped the cassette in the player, started listening to it. First listen through, didn't click. I was like, what is this? Listened to it another time, still didn't click, so it just got pushed aside. Didn't listen to Iron Maiden for years and years after. Maybe it wasn't. No, it was Power Slave. Somebody gave me a cassette or left it in my car, and I popped it in and said, I'll give this a shot. And Power Slave is what clicked with me with Iron Maiden. I don't know why Power Slave did, other than this. But yeah. So, Iron Maiden, Seventh Son of a Seventh Son. Sorry I keep looking over there. There's an ant on my floor that's walking around. I'm just trying to keep an eye on it so I can kill it. Yeah. Okay, last one. This is one that got me into heavier metal, which I've mentioned many times. Metallica and Justice for All. Number 1 on the Billboard chart or something at Strawberries. Number 1 for sales. I don't know what it was. They always had a wall of the top 20 sellers or something. This was number 1 that week when I went in. I'd never heard of Metallica. And it just looked good. It was number 1. I'm like, it's got to be good. Definitely the first time I heard this, because before this, like I've said before, I was only listening to glam metal, hair metal, stuff like that. And this blew me away. The second time. The first time, I wasn't sure what to expect, and it didn't click at first. It really didn't. It was too much. And then second time through, yeah, I was like, okay, I get it, and love this album ever since. As I always say, I wish there was some more bass to it though, especially after listening to their first 3 albums. But yeah, Metallica and Justice for All. Last one. This came out September 17th, 1988. A lot of good stuff came out in the 80s and the late 80s, early 90s apparently. So, and that's when I started really listening to heavier stuff. So, that is my little video for 6 albums I bought based on the covers alone. Hope you liked it. It's a little different than what I normally do, so rock on till next time.